Hi everyone and welcome to week 8. For week 8, we're going to be reading chapters 15 and 16 and you have quiz number 3. Quiz number 3 is going to be 25 multiple choice questions, 60 minutes and 1 attempt on the quiz. So really make sure to focus on the content of the the content that we're covering, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Let's look at some of the questions that you might see, and this will be used as your study guide. I'll go over a couple of the questions, but I won't go over all of them, but you will see the types of questions you'll get. What does the exchange rate depend on? What are the functions of money? One of them is not a function of money. What is money? Individuals base their demand for an asset based on certain criteria. If a world only has money and bonds, an individual's need for liquidity. So why would an individual need liquidity? When you look at liquidity, that's the ease at which things can be converted to cash. Aggregate money depends on what? Now, increase in money supply, that'll cause lower interest rates, and when we have lower interest rates, you'll notice that the currency will depreciate. When inflation is extremely high and above over 100%, that's called hyperinflation. When we have hyperinflation, you'll notice that inflation is excessive, which causes people to want more and more demand for the currency. Question 21 is looking at a difference between the permanent and a temporary increase. A permanent increase in the money supply, it'll actually cause changes to the exchange rate. Now 22 through 25, we're going to be dealing with the purchasing power parity. The purchasing power parity is a concept that's focused on how a country's currency holds relative to another country's currency. So when you look at the PPP, you notice that you're focused on if I take my money and I buy a hamburger in the US, or if I go over to Europe and buy a hamburger, the money should hold, so I hold the same amount of currency. It should cost the same amount. That's what the purchasing power parity is looking at. So for this week, we're looking at chapters 15 and 16. Now, money is a very liquid asset, and you notice that money has three functions: medium of exchange, store of value, and unit of account. We demand money for two reasons: for transactional demand and purchasing. So we use it for transactions and we use it for speculative nature. This week you want to understand the role of the money supply. And the role of the money supply is very important. Let me see if I can find a graph of the money supply. Here is the money demand curve. The money demand curve, you'll notice, is inverse between interest rates and the amount people want. So when interest rates decrease, we want to demand more money. That's a key component here. And this function brings about a lot of changes for our economy, because you'll notice that changes in interest rates will influence how people make decisions. So when we have more income, this will lead to a higher increase in real income. We want more money. We will demand more money when our income increases. When we look at the model of the money market, we're looking at money. And what is money being based on? Money's looking at how rates are affected in our economy. And you'll notice that money supply equals money demanded. When there is no shortage or surpluses, MS will equal money demanded. Now in chapter 16, we're looking at a couple different other concepts. Now, chapter 16 is looking at the behavior of exchange rates. Exchange rates will fluctuate based off of a couple different factors. The main factors of exchange rate fluctuations are interest rates, growth rates, political stability, financial stability, and expectations. Those are the main reasons why an exchange rate will move. And we look at this theory of law of one price. And the law of one price is somewhat like the purchasing power parity, where we assume that the price of a good will equal the same price in another country. And it deals with buying power, and the price of the good should be the same. So these are some of the concepts we'll focus on this week. Make sure to focus on that your attempt on the quiz, and review the questions that we focused on, as I look forward to your effort this week.